and welcome to Joy News today. The bulletin is live from our studios here in Kukumlimli, Accra. We're also live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125 and around the world on myjoyonline.com. I am MFA Akosi Adeti. Coming up this afternoon, President John Dramani Mahama leads Ghanaians in a national day of thanksgiving, asks Ghanaians to hold to account people in high places, insisting that leadership must be grounded in honesty and the love for God. We'll hear how this day has been replicated across the country.
We must hold those in authority, including myself, accountable to the highest standards of integrity and humility.
We'll also bring you details of a new poll by Global InfoAnalytics, which shows that majority of Ghanaians believe the country is headed in the right direction, with former Vice President Dr. Bawumia leading the NPP's flag bearer race with 70% of votes. We'll be joined by the lead researcher at Global InfoAnalytics as well. And Ghana Medical Association asked Ghana Health Service and Ministry of Health to intensify fight against Mpox and other related diseases. We'll bring you details as Health Minister gets ready to meet Parliament to detail how his outfit is containing the disease. We have latest on this Abled series. We'll tell you the story of Ephraim Aye Araka Tete, who braved the odds to graduate with an FGPA of 4.0 despite becoming blind 2 years into his university education.
Had issues with my sight, but it sort of worsened whilst I was in level 200 in KNUSC. I followed up trying to see if I could get medical help, but there was a 50-50 chance. But I believe I see with my mind, because sometimes the things I tend to see, it's not there.
We've got these plus business news, sports and showbiz in this package. Join us, independent, fearless and credible. Please stay for details. Thank you for staying with us this afternoon. First, President John Dramani Mahama is asking Ghanaians to hold to account people in high places, insisting that leadership must be grounded in honesty and the love for God. Speaking at the National Prayer and Thanksgiving service, the President asked Ghanaians to eschew violence and build an atmosphere of peace to bolster Ghana's development. He wants Ghanaians to live faithfully with each other, be generous as well, and also uphold the right actions.
Let us be honest in our dealings. Let us be generous in our compassion. And let us be upright in our conduct. We must hold those in authority, including myself, accountable to the highest standards of integrity and humility. Public office is not a privilege for personal gain. It is a sacred trust bestowed by the people, and a responsibility to serve all, especially the most vulnerable of us. Even the office of the president, which by the grace of God I now hold, is not above the law. Leadership must be grounded in justice, in honesty, and a reverence of God. If we want a just Ghana, we must be just in leadership. A nation's greatness is not measured by the heights of its skyscrapers or the size of its budget. The values of its people are the true measure of a nation's greatness. The virtues of courage, of honesty, of discipline, of sacrifice, and compassion are what really measure the greatness of any nation. It is in these quiet strengths that the true power of our country, Ghana, resides. It is through these virtues that we will rise and prosper.
Now let's take you around Ghana for updates on how other regions commemorated this day. We'll start with Rafiq Salam, who is in the Upper West region. Rafiq, what is it like in the Upper West region on a day such as this one?
the upper within the situation is not different from the rest of the country. As I speak to you now, I'm currently at the October Central Mosque, where the praise and thanksgiving is being done right at the mosque. Currently, the Upper Sudan Minister Charles Wonga Kogun is speaking about the thanksgiving, the need to thank God for what God has done for this country. Earlier, he was at the Pentecost Church where a group of churches came together, led by the chairmanship of the local council of churches. He also conveyed at the Pentecost church where same process was done. Also, as we speak now, they have done two ceremonies, one at the Pentecost church, and then the second one happens to be at the Orthodox Mosque, Central Mosque, which is currently ongoing right here in the apostle.
Right, so the Central Mosque, the activity there is ongoing. Do we know that if there's anything special that's going to happen, especially because of the timing for the Islamic prayers?
So what happened is that we came here about 30 minutes ago, and the Muslim clerics are first engaged in reading the full version of the Holy Quran. You know, the Holy Quran has about 30, 30 chapters, and each of the Muslim clerics was given a chapter of the Holy Quran to read through. That's what they have just finished doing. And then after that, there was a speech from the Imam of the Central Mosque, Alaji Ayap Punjang, who spoke about the need to pray for government leadership, for the leadership of the country, for God to really guide them to do what is needful for this country. And then the next person who spoke was the Minister for Land, Labor Relations, in the person of Dr. Richard, who also happens to be the Member of Parliament for the West Central. He was just finished speaking. And then also now the turn of the regional minister, Dr. Lawyer Charles Wonga Kogun, who's currently speaking. But he made some, initial remarks about the need to construct the government,
right.
And it has. And then also, secondly, the ceremony is ongoing at the Central Mosque.
Right. Thank you so much, Rafiq Salam. Away from the Upper West region, and I'll take you to the Central region, where Abigail Aisel is on standby. Abigail, what's it like in Cape Coast particularly? Abigail, if you can hear me, what's it like in the Central region? Well, I'll take you to the Ashanti region whilst we reconnect with Abigail Aisel. And Irabna is in the Ashanti region. Irabna, what's it like in the Ashanti region?
Yes, well, I'm happy to be with a very peaceful, calm, and unified church service. This morning at the Calvary Charismatic Center, CCC, attending the church service where the regional minister, Dr. Frank Amwakohene, there was the Kumasi Mayor, Richard Ofori Ajiman, alias King Zumba. We had MMBCEs, bishops, reverends, members of AGLU. Just a lot of people, hundreds of people attended today, and security has been tight so far, and it was a peaceful church service. At 12:30 p.m., we are going to the Kumasi Central Mosque, where we are going to have the Islamic session at 12:30 p.m. And
so you generally would say that in the Ashanti region, it's not any different like in the Accra, in Greater Accra region as well?
Yes, everything has been smooth, and the session, the prayer, and everything has been peaceful and calm. The atmosphere has been good so far.
Right. Thank you so much, Irabna from the Ashanti region. If I have Isaac Noya on. Isaac, what's it like where you are? Do you have Isaac with me? Well, I'll take you to the Volta region where Ivy Setoji is on standby. Ivy, what's it like in the Volta region? If you will unmute, Ivy.
So So with the Volta region, it's not really different from other regions. The people are doing their own thing, led by the Volta regional minister and his coordinating, the coordinating council. And in other districts also across the region, especially in the North Tongue district, they are also holding this Thanksgiving service. So it's scattered across the region. Most of the districts are holding this Thanksgiving service, and they have given the opportunity to all the religious groups, that is the Christian religion, the Muslim, and then also the traditional religion, to thank God for how far they have brought them. So yes, in most of the districts in the Volta region, this is what is happening, and the ground one is happening in the Volta region, that is specifically in Ho at the NAPAC.
Okay, thank you so much, Ivy Setoji. And still on the National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving service, I'll take you back to the Central region where Abigail ACL is on standby. Abigail, what's it like in the Central region?
Yeah, all right. In the Central region, everything is calm right now. The program is still ongoing. Very soon, we'll be moving for the Muslim session, and particularly for the people of Cape Coast, which is where we are right now for the National Prayer and Thanksgiving. It's been a very hard past few weeks for them, so they are particularly very grateful for this moment of unity in prayer and in worship. The regional minister did say that the demolition exercise will be very effective. Drainage system is all part of the reset, and as is reflected in the theme of the service. So everything is calm. People are very grateful for this particular moment after all the tragedy we've suffered the past few weeks. Everyone is calm here. The ceremony is happening and everybody is happy participating in the prayer and worship.
Right, Abigail, where in Cape Coast does this happen?
And at Victoria Park in Cape Coast.
Okay, thank you so much, Abigail. I'll try again, see if I can connect with Isaac Nonya. Isaac Nonya, can you hear me? And if you can hear me, where is it like where you are? Tell me where you are and what's it like over there.
Yes, I'm currently in Savannah region, Bupe to be specific. And here at Bupe, you have a good number of Muslim clerics who have gathered to offer prayers and thanksgiving to God. And here at the Bupe Royal Palace, where the Muslims are hosting the prayers, the DC is saying that the day is a set of reflection, peace, and then kind of unity. So residents should take opportunity over the president to unite the country and come together and pray for more blessings and peace for the country. I will speak, the chief of the area, Bupewura Jinapo Abdullahi, is saying that he cannot do anything more than uniting all his people to fall in line with what the president is asking for. The Christians are also scheduled to have their own, somewhere 6 p.m. today, to also offer prayers to God for blessings and thanksgiving.
Right, thank you so much, Isaac Nonya, for that details update from the Savannah region. But what does it mean to you as a Ghanaian? We went around, we asked the question, and here's what you had to say.
But prayer changes things because we have a living God. Yes, we're in trouble and we pray to him and he listens to us. So it's good. We pray. Likewise, the Muslims, they are going to pray that Friday. Yes. Because look at the Bible, there are some problems about this, and when they pray to God, I listen to them. So we should pray. It's okay. It should be continuous one, not one day.
Yeah, it's going to solve a problem. Yes, God listen to us when we pray. God, if you don't ask me anything, he won't do it. He will wait until his own time. So as we are going on to pray, we are asking him to solve our problems.
I've prayed to God for blessings, for favor, to guide and guide us in everything that we do.
So yeah, that's what you had to say about today. But still here in Accra, we've got Maxwell Agbagba, presidential correspondent, to bring us what you may have missed. Maxwell, how has it been so far? I know that it's ended, but who have you been catching up with?
Well, we've had a lot of speakers at the event. Currently, we're at the National Mosque Complex, where the Muslim event, is about to take place shortly. But President Mahama has been speaking at the event. He reiterated that July 1 henceforth is not only Ghana's Republic Day, but also the country's official National Day of Thanksgiving and Prayer. He described Ghana as an oasis of peace. He said, despite the challenges and unrest in surrounding regions, we have a lot of peace here, and we must work to preserve that peace. He also stressed the importance of accountability in governance and society, and noting that it is essential for building a just and equitable, nation. What you can hear now in the background is from the National Mosque, where the Muslim prayers would also, be happening. But remember that the Christian events ended just about 10 minutes ago, and the Muslim event is just about to take place here at the National Mosque at Kanda.
Do we have any notable persons also coming, or it's just the same entourage moving from the presidency to the National Mosque?
At the Christian event, we have top members of the clergy present. Here at the Muslim event, where it is expected that top Muslim clerics will be here and present for the Muslim event.
Right. Thank you so much, Maxwell. Of course, we look forward to any fallout from that one as well as the National Mosque. Now, away from the National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving service, a new poll by Global InfoAnalytics shows that a majority of Ghanaians continue to believe that the country is headed in the right direction. According to the new survey, 70% of voters now believe the country is headed in the right direction, compared to 20% who believe it's headed in the wrong direction. Majority of voters in every region except Ashanti say the country is headed in the right direction. Now we're joined via Zoom by Head of Research and Poster at Global InfoAnalytics, Musa Dankwa, for this one very latest survey. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Let's start with your methodology for this research. Tell us more about the methodology. Kindly unmute if you can hear me.
Okay. All right. Can you hear me now?
Very clear. Thank you.
All right. We had three methodologies that we combined to arrive at this overall polling result. We had online telephone poll that we sampled about 1,092 voters on our various handles online. And then we interviewed 1,457 people by telephone across all the regions.
Okay.
And then we deployed nearly 7,944 face-to-face in-field across 84 constituencies. And the combination of these outcomes is what we are giving you today.
Okay. I mean, with a blend of online, telephone, face-to-face, how did you ensure neutrality in gathering the responses?
There's no neutrality in expressing opinion. People have positions. You can either be NDC, MPP, floating voter, or other parties. There's no neutrality here. What we do is that you cannot take the survey twice online, and also the sample represents just about 10% and not big enough to alter the overall outcome of the 90%.
Well, so was there any margin of error at all, and what's the margin?
Right. If you look at the telephone, the online survey, the margin of error for online survey was 3.8%. When it comes to telephone poll, the margin of error was 3.3%. But in the face-to-face infield, the margin of error is 1.42%.
So we have 70% of voters who believe that the country is heading in the right direction. What key factors influence this sentiment?
You know, when it comes to the direction of the country, a whole lot of things come into play. They look at the economy in general. They look at price of goods and services. They look at so many indicators, and they arrive at that conclusion based on how they feel the country is headed. And I think this measure has been we've measured this measure over a period of, say, 4 years now. And this is the highest we've seen this number over the last 4 years.
Ashanti region has my attention, of course. I mean, because it is an outlier. But for them especially, they think that the country is not headed in the right direction. I mean, in your findings, what do you think contributed to Ashanti region, such a major voting area, saying that it's not headed in the right direction?
I think they are really partisan in the sense that that is the home base of the opposition party, the NPP. If that has gone the other way, that would have spelled a big doom for the party. So at least for NPP, not everybody is happy with the country direction in their stronghold. If this tends to be different, then it will mean something else for the NPP.
For the country headed in the right direction, was it a one-size question, or the respondents picked variables that amounted to what they say the country is headed in the right direction?
No, it's just one question. Looking at in totality, overall, would you say that this country is now headed in the right direction or wrong direction?
Okay. I mean,
that was the question.
What informed that choice of questioning?
No, this is a standard question that has been asked by pollsters globally. So if you go to US and Britain, it's not new. This similar question is being asked every time. So we tend to not invent the wheel. And there are other sides of the survey that we look at specific areas of the economy and measures. And that helps to understand better and also to correlate or collaborate what people are saying here and what they are saying elsewhere.
I mean, a little over 70% of the responses, which is favoring the current administration led by the current president. I mean, let's kickstart into 2028. What does it mean for his legacy? And what would that even mean for the current race, the trot that parties or flag bearers are racing to? What does it mean?
In terms of legacy, I think it's too early to mention his legacy here. But in terms of what happens in 2028, if you are running into an election with an incumbent government being rated very high in terms of how they are running the country, that will spell doom for the opposition. If they continue to be rated around this level, it means that it's highly unlikely MPP will have a chance in 2028.
So let's talk about the NPP and the NDC's presidential flag bearer race already. The NPP has already they hit the ground running. And beyond the former vice president being the former flag bearer for the 2024 NPP presidential race, what is giving him that leverage, you know, over the other members? If I look at the polls and if I look at the data, he seemed to have quite a firm grip both on the grassroots and even the party as well, because generally they're mentioning him, and within the party as well, he seems to be leading the polls. What's accounting for this?
I believe after speaking to voters, we've come to note that there is a conception that once he's been there before, it is much easier for him to be marketed again than bringing a new face. It appears the voters have kind of bought into this concept, and they appear to be running away with that. I think this is the reason why he's doing well. But if you look at the other candidates, I mean, Kennedy just dropped 2%, and Edichu also dropped about 2%. But you could see it's a split among all the other candidates. They are sharing the same base, and it appears that it's not making them stronger, but making them weaker against Bawumia.
Right. I mean, currently, I mean, you know the character of polls, and you've done this for a while. We still have some more months, years, at least to 2028. What does this, can this change in any way, and what factors can contribute to the change?
I think it can change. Polls are not static. Time and events affect polls. And also the type of campaign these candidates will eventually will shape. What we must emphasize is that if the current album as it is what is going to be used, then that will give Bawumia an advantage. Because what we've seen in the poll is that people who were MPP who did not vote in the last election are not so much enthused about Bawumia's candidature. Indeed, if you look at the responses we got from people who didn't vote in the last election, who were MPP, Bawumia leads 41%, Ken 40%. So in those people, the race is much closer. But those people will not be able to find themselves in the electoral register, or we call the album. So it will tend to favor Bawumia.
Let's talk about the NDC. I'm quite curious about the names that came up for the polls. And of course, because you put the names out there, what informed the names that you put out for the polls?
No, in fact, the master list is somewhere in the report. We had everybody we can think of as potential candidate. The only person we took away was the incumbent Vice President, Jenana, who was there in the last poll. But following the health scare, we believe as posters that we can take care and see what the race looks like. So if you look at the numbers, we have Haruna Idrisu there, Asidin Ketia there, Atufosin there, Los Debra, Ablakwa, Zinato Ajiman Rollins, Uvuzwan Pofu, Uzitano, Anatete, Eriko Poku, Iwadaku, Alex Mole, Omani Buama, equity. We believe these are the lists. And like there's another list that we don't know, but I believe that these are the people who may throw their hearts in the ring.
Well, I mean, because of the healthcare, of course, do you think that if the vice president was in this list, the numbers we're seeing with Haruna leading and Esiedin Ketia following, do you think that it would have changed in any way at all?
Yes. Yes, in fact, it is because we dropped her. That is the reason why her numbers realigned to Haruna, Asiedu, and Atufosi. Indeed, when she was in the race, she was leading with 25% in the last poll.
Okay. What is accounting Haruna Idrisi to be leading with such significant margin? Though the margin between him and the others are not so wide, what's accounting him to be leading? I see that you say he enjoys both elite and the grassroots support, but what more really is accounting for his leading?
You know, Haruna Idrisi is a formidable name in NDC. He's been there for a while, since Atamil's time as minister, Mahama as a minister, minority leader, and so he's a known brand in NDC, and it's very solid support across the rank and file of the party. He is much stronger in the northern region because the northern region as a bloc really sway heavily towards Haruna. Combine that with the bit of support that he has, even in the Ashanti region, amongst really MPP people, he is quite doing well in that regard.
Okay. I'm sure that the size will reduce as we move on, and then we may be discussing new data or new numbers a bit later. But let's talk about the shift in government appointees seem to be, departing away from being corrupt. I'm certain that I read right. Even when I read myself, I said, okay, that is some shift. What's accounting to these?
Look, the secret lies in the perception of corruption perception as a whole in the country. Now, if you look at people's response when it comes to how they perceive corruption in the country today, most Ghanaians believe that corruption levels is improving, 60%. Only 20% are saying that it's the same, and 30% are saying it is getting worse. Now, if you ask them, do you believe that the current government is doing enough in fighting corruption, 63% are saying yes, they believe they are doing enough to fight corruption, compared to only 23% who are saying that they are not. So this sentiment feeds into the overall perception of corruption index across many public institutions. Even though the ranking may have changed slightly, what we've seen is that every public institution improved in score terms. They didn't perform worse than last time, which means that they are now perceived to be less corrupt, even though some of them are retaining their position. For example, even the police service, even though they retain the number one position, their score dropped by 1.7%. Immigration, they dropped by 7.5%. Judiciary dropped by 6.8%. Tax officials dropped by 7%. Local government reps dropped by almost 11%. The presidency dropped by almost 17%. Ministers dropped by nearly 11%. So there is an overall perception that generally corruption is going down, and that is affecting the way people are seeing the system now.
I mean, a final question before I end this conversation with you would be back to the flag bearership race for both the NPP and then the NDC. I see the demographics. I see that men, of course, dominated the data. What's really going on? Is it that women do not like to engage in these polls? Of course, you made available very comfortable options for them. There's online, there's face-to-face. What's really accounting for women not really engaging into it? Because, again, I see that this data had, the Democrats show that the men were more, and even so, the data drilled it down to between 35 to a little over 40, which will be the millennials as well, contributing higher. Why?
No, look, if you look at the overall sample, about 42% are female and 58% are male. So it's not very well skewed, even though we could have done better.
Okay.
Normally, I think women are around 49% and men around 51%. But we can adjust the sample to correct any weighting issues there.
Okay.
But if you look at the support that they have for various candidates, it differs. For example, let me take a quick look at the MPP race. In fact, we didn't look at the gender, we look at the age in particular. For Baumia, he seems to enjoy support across all age groups.
Okay.
And then if you come to the NDC list, that is where the race gets a bit tricky because the people are just split. For those who are 18 to 24, they back Asedin Ketia for some reason. And then for those who are 25 to 34, they tend to back Haruna. Those who are 35 to 44, Haruna have a slight edge. 45 to 54, Haruna leads. And then 55 to 64, Mosquito leads. So it's not not, what should I say? It's not a cross board for the NDC. It's a mixed match or a mixed bags for the candidates.
Is it not because the age difference? I mean, General Mosquito has been in the party for years, and so he's carried his members along from the beginning all the way to this age group. Is it surprising to see that?
No, it's not surprising because, in fact, the data shows that if you look at people who voted for John Mahama, about 65% of people who in 2020 went for Mahama prefer the younger candidates. Okay. So between Haruna, Atufosin, Ablakwa, and Zinato, they are getting 65% of the Mahama's vote. It tells you that the country was different direction.
Thank you so much, Musa Danko, for joining us today on Joy News Today. Now, away from the global InfoAnalytics, let's do some health stories. The Ghana Medical Association is asking the Health Ministry and the Ghana Health Service to intensify its fight against Mpox and other related diseases by heightening public education and preventive measures. A statement by its president, Dr. Frank Serebo, and General Secretary, Dr. Richard Salome reads, and I'll be reading that to you shortly on your screen. Mpox is a viral illness that is usually self-limiting but may result in serious illness and death. It's spread mainly by direct contact, either with infected people, respiratory droplets, infected body fluids, and surfaces contaminated by these infectious materials. And any member of the public who notices that they have a fever, body pain, and a rash that appears all over the body, including the soles of the feet and palms of the hand, should report to the nearest health facility for testing and treatment. That time of the year again, and in the National Science and Math Quiz, 4 more schools have secured their places in the 2025 contest, adding to the growing list of national qualifiers. Sacred Heart SHS triumphed over host school Sunyani SHS in the Bono region finale, making a return to the national stage for the first time since 2015. In the Western region, St. Mary's boys delivered a strong showing to book their 3rd straight national appearance. Adobia Sari and Collins Frimpong will join me with details, and I'll start with Adobia. Adobia, yesterday was quite a good one, but today, what's it like so far?
Okay. So the first contest has ended. Now, one is underway. So in the first contest, St. Mary's boys, Senior High School, Yasoman Senior High School, and how was it contended with Now, St. Mary's won. They dominated in all 4 rounds.
Adobia, you want to position yourself. You want to position yourself quite well so that I can hear you. Whilst you're at that, let me go to Collins, who is in the Bono region, and then try to see if I can get a very clear audio. Collins, if you can hear me.
Hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Adobia, but please hang in there. Let me speak to Collins first. Collins, what's it like in the region?
Yes, I can hear you. And currently, we are having the second contest, which is at the Sunyani Senior High School. The first contest has come to an end, and we had a Sacred Heart Senior High School now qualifying for the 2nd time to the nationals. Their last time was in 2018, which also happens to be the first time that they made it to the national championship. So this time around, we've been able to qualify for the national championship as well as the final, the regional finals, which is also scheduled for Thursday. And with the regional finals, we will be meeting under 4 schools like the Bethany Senior High Technical School and also Brikum Presby Senior High School, and also we have Thomas Senior High School in there. And another school, that's the Notre Dame Senior High School, which they secured 78 points yesterday. And so far, with the regional qualified, Notre Dame secured the highest score, 78 yesterday. And Notre Dame, that's their 9th consecutive time that they've been qualified for the national championship. Today, Sacred Heart Senior High School qualified for the 2nd time. They have made it to the national championship. Finally, lost by just 3 points, but they have also been able to qualify for the national championship because, according to the NSMQ rules, if you are able to secure 40 points within your competition, you qualify for the national championship. But they won't be able to qualify.
Okay, that's quite a narrow or some escape for them. Otherwise, they would have lost by just 3 points and they won't make it to the finals. Oh, okay. What is it like today, later in the day? Oh, did I just lose Collins's audio? Okay.
Yes, we are done with the Blue region and we are having the Ahafu one today, which the first contest has also begun and it is ongoing at the moment.
Thank you so much, Collins. Right, away from the National Science and Math quiz, imagine starting university education and losing your sight 2 years later. For many, that would have marked the end of the road, but for Ephraim Aye Oraka Tete, he started afresh, overcame the odds and made history, becoming the first student at the University of Ghana to graduate with a perfect final grade point average of 4.0. Emmanuel Jivenu has more in our Disabled series.
But more than theory, he has lived it.
This might sound banal or normal, but I guess whichever state you are in, just be motivated and then still push for whatever you think you want to achieve or you imagine to achieve. Hoping to enter into law or do philosophy. I mean, a merger of both philosophy and law in a way.
From sight to no sight, hopelessness to hope, and from struggle to success, Ephraim Aye Orakatete has not just graduated, he has inspired an entire generation.
Congratulations once again, and may this road ahead of us, be as bright as the dreams we dare to dream. Thank you very much.
History has been made, and the future, it is only just beginning. Emmanuel Jivenu, Joy News, Legon.
You want to join us today? Please stay with me for business, sports, and showbiz.
Good afternoon and welcome to the business segment of Join News today with me, Pius Kojobaka. One of the major challenges facing the growth of SMEs in Ghana is access to affordable capital. Speaking to Joy Business on the sidelines of the NSMQ Day celebration here in Accra, acting head of business and commercial clients at Stanbic Bank, Dinah Kalio emphasized the need for stronger partnerships with development agencies to help unlock affordable and sustainable financing for SME growth.
SMEs account for over 80% of businesses in Ghana and employ the majority of the country's workforce. Yet, their growth and contribution to the national GDP remain limited, largely due to one persistent challenge: lack of access to affordable and patient capital. Speaking on the sidelines of the NSMQ Day celebration, acting head of business and commercial client at Stanbic Bank, Diana Kalio stressed the need for strategic collaboration with development partners to unlock sustainable business financing.
We've identified development partners who are coming in with cheaper rates that will be comfortable for these businesses to grow. You know, during the phase of entrepreneurship, there are some equity risks that the owners need to take, but they need partners to help them in this phase to be able to move to the next level that they think that will see the expansion of their business. And that's where the commercial banks now come in. And we believe that with what we are seeing, the likes of Development Bank doing, Exim Bank doing, MasterCard doing, there's going to be a phase that is going to see all these entrepreneurs rise up to the occasion to become the next big the next big companies that we want to see them to become.
She also highlighted the role of the Stanbic Business Incubator Program in building the capacity of entrepreneurs and equipping them with tools for growth.
In capacity building, we've seen the likes of GIZ, we've seen the likes of UNDP, all helping to build that capacity. And in that area too, Stanbic has invested in the Stanbic Incubator business, where we are paying for a free space, and anyone who has any idea to ensure that we see the entrepreneurs of this country grow to become the big businesses that we want them to become, you can come in and partner with us to host programs, and we give you that venue for free, and you come in, host that program, and help groom the next generation of key entrepreneurs that we think has the propensity to take the country to the next level.
Stanbic Bank is also partnering with fintech companies and leveraging artificial intelligence to de-risk SME lending and improve credit scoring models, thus enhancing access to finance for underserved entrepreneurs across the country. The bank continues to play a key role in national effort to promote made-in-Ghana products.
I'll be at 1 p.m. Please, for more business stories, I am Pius Kojubaka.
We bring you sports now on Joy News. Today with me, Muftawa Nabila Abdullahi, former president of the Ghana Boxing Authority. Ibrahim Korte Niekwe has warned Nilante van der Poy, former Minister of Youth and Sports, which is now Sports and Recreation, and the Director General of the National Sports Authority, Yao Ampofo Ankara, telling them to desist from infiltrating the discipline with politics. According to him, Yao Ampofo Ankara and Nilante van der Poy masterminded the decision for him to resign from his role, and he has promised to come after them.
He and the National Sports Authority, they know what they have done. If they are honorable men, by this time they should be resigning. Yes. But once again, I'll say that they should leave our sports alone. This committee reports, those of you media men, you come here. There was another side of it where they said, we have done over 92 fights since I came to office, which has never happened before. Here. Yet the committee report captured that the woman who is here, the snitch woman, who is here, what is her name? Aqua Harrison, put in this report that we give we to the ladies who sell here to sell for us. In this report. And you, the minister, you should at least invite us. 92 events. Police people are here all the time. Your own security is here. Your operation team is always here. You have never arrested anybody. And somebody like this come and testify such a thing. And you need no question us to find out what he's saying is true or not. But because you have your own agenda, you say you are setting GBA board aside. You don't have right, Kofi Adams. You don't have that right. As I said, I'm a politician and we'll fight. I'll fight you and Ilante, but I don't want to fight through the Ghana boxing. I want to leave the sports alone. Then as a politician, I'll come and fight you guys.
We've got more sports stories on myjoyonline.com, including how you can register for this year's Joy Sports Invitational Tournament. Up next is Showbiz.
It's time for Showbiz. My name is Lois Shola Adeyemi. Let's get into it. To my first story, it says the Ghanaian singer and songwriter Kwame Eugene has revealed that his decision to cut off his signature hair marks a fresh start in his music career following his exit from Lynx Entertainment. Speaking to Dorian Avio, the Monica hitmaker explained that the change in the hairstyle is more than just aesthetics. Take a listen.
But whatever you do, they go talk anyway. Like when I had the afro, I was like, oh, this is so nice. What's the American boy? The Belinda video. You know, like, oh, what's some American, black American young boy? Oh, okay, cool. So I woke up one morning and Muhammad, like it's been a long time. You know, since I got signed to Links, it's been changing hairstyle from one hairstyle to another hairstyle. But I've not had a down cut for a very long time. And you know, for about 6 years. Me to try so I'm my board, then I'll twist it, then I will do this, then I will unbraid it, and I'll leave the afro for about 6 years. Me and Kasano, my hair, my scar, my teeth, my scar. I
But wait, did you cut it to change, like just to show a new look and the fact that it's a new beginning for me from Links?
Like you said, it's a transition from the Links boy to your family sweet boy Kwame Eugene.
Well, still in the world of music, Grammy-nominated Nigerian singer Ira Star has relished making her acting debut in the American fantasy film Children of Blood and Bone. Speaking on her experience in a recent interview with CBS, Star explained that she was forced to work hard and punctual. Unlike in the music industry, she stressed that the experience has made him have more respect for actors more than ever.
Presence on screen as well, and you're in this new movie, Children of Blood and Bone. What can you tell us about it?
My first movie ever. You know, I'm used to being a singer and being a diva on set. Yes. But this one with the movie, like, it's not about you. Be on set on time. Everything. So it made me very, like, I got used to military time and just being on set and working hard. Like, I respect actors so much more now, like their stamina. Impeccable.
Like, did you always want to act? And let's talk about the people that are in this with you. Idris Elba, Cynthia Erivo, Viola Davis.
Wow.
Is acting always in your past something you want to do, or
it's something like I always wanted to do? Sorry to cut you short. It's something I always wanted to do. Obviously, like I love music, but I've always loved like the arts in general. But I've always been shy when it comes to acting. But this is the first time in my life that I've been on camera and I'm not singing, I'm just, you know, acting.
Now, wrapping up, Will Smith appeared on Apple Music's Fire in the Boot series. The iconic rapper and actor looked to save some of his bars for comedian Chris Rock, who he famously slapped on stage at the 2022 Oscars. While he doesn't drop Rock's name, Smith clearly references the incident. Here's more.
Now I'm not the type of man to move in malicious ways, and I am too grown to play childish games. But if you're talking crazy out your face up on the stage and disrespect me on the stage, expect me on the stage. Jokers dish it out, cry foul when it's time to take it. City full of real ones, wasn't raised to fake it. Jill to Meek Mill to the roots, it's all greatness. I'ma tell my own story, I am the narrator. I'ma rip the snakes out the grass, I'm a landscaper. I'ma go to heaven even though I'm a hellraiser. I am the LA. Yes, sir!
Well, and that's how we wrap up Showbiz. My name is Lois Shola Ademi. MFI standing by. Hi, MFI.
Hello, Shola. Auntie Shola, thank you so much for bringing us Showbiz. But in wealth today, a heat wave is continuing to grip Europe as rescuers evacuate 50,000 people in western Turkey, where wildfires are raging. In France, a red alert, the highest extreme heat warning, is in place across 16 departments, including Paris, where the top of the Eiffel Tower is closed. 2 people have died in Italy as temperatures soar, and parts of Portugal and Spain recorded their highest ever June temperatures this week as the mercury hit 46 Celsius. And in southeast England, temperatures could reach high of 35 Celsius today, but there will be more changeable for the rest of the UK. We're bringing you details as we're hoping to have a conversation on the back of this. But thank you for watching Joy News today. I am Emefa Akosia Adeti. For more news though, do log on to myjoyonline.com with our top story. I look forward to seeing Ghanaians travel abroad for leisure, not survival. Duncan Williams at today's National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving service. And thank you for watching, Shola.